Hey guys, it's Ryan here, bringing you episode number 3 of the Career Mode series, and we are live at the Shanghai International Circuit as we are starting in 11th place, but our objective is to finish first. As in qualifying, we did get pole position, guys, for the first time, just pipping Fernando Alonso to pole position, but sadly we had a overtake under yellow flags in practice for an R&D objective, which sadly gave us a 10 grid penalty. As you can see here, the setup, as you can see on the screen, it's really the same really as Malaysia was, but obviously the obvious difference is the gearbox, and the wing is now at 2-1 for the race instead of 1-1 that we had in qualifying. So we're leaving the garage now, and it's a all Ferrari front row here with Alonso pipping Massa, with Mark Webber in 3rd position and Kobayashi delivering a brilliant display for Sauber to get 4th position. We're starting 11th, as I've said, and the rest of our teammate is in 14th. And we have a big challenge ahead of us as we've got Hamilton behind us and Verne ahead, with Grosjean in 9th, as the lights are on now. As we're about to start China, the lights are up, all on now, and we are away. And we get a good start here as we get past Jonic Verne with our Kers, using a third of it straight away, as we're going round entering the snail section, coming into this long wide section, and we try to get past him. We brake a bit late, go onto the grass, we lose some there, and here comes, and Hamilton's hit us. He loses a bit of his end plate. Luckily we don't have a puncher from that, and we lose the back end there as we go onto the curb, and Ricciardo takes the inside line and takes 12th place from us, and the rest is right behind us now. He backs off as we're coming down towards the first hairpin on the circuit, and we take the inside line and we hit Jonic Verne. No contact there, no damage. And then, as we get past Ricciardo for 12th place, he has to lift off as we're taking the racing line. We're coming into this twisty section. We go a bit wide into this corner. As you can see, there's the difference in speed from Verne and myself. And we're taking this right-hander as we go into the double left-hander here. Braking, and we take a good entry into it, but we have a bad exit, getting a bit of oversteer. As we're coming down this back straight, as we're coming towards the last sector, and the second snail part of the circuit. As we're right behind, we take the inside line of Verne, go round the outside. He pushes us off slightly onto the curb, but it's fine. As we're going round the outside, coming now onto the main long straight, getting past Verne, up into 11th place, and we're catching up with Vettel now. As I've said in the first episode, the Force India has the greatest top speed of any team, I think, just behind Mercedes, and we're right onto the back of Vettel now, taking a good entry into the hairpin. Good exit as well, as we're going a bit off-road there again. Sorry about that, guys. There is a bit of off-roading in this. I do apologise. So we're coming on to start the second lap, and we are, I believe, 7 tenths ahead behind Vettel and half a second ahead of Ricciardo as we enter the snail section again. As you can see, we take a better entry into this corner, and we're right on the back of Vettel, and we got a 4-car train here as we take the inside on Vettel. For 10th place, can we? We do. He has to give position as we take the racing line. And we're now up into the points position, guys. Can we get into that top 5 if we can? As you set the fastest first sector of anyone in the first sector. Grosjean's 7 tenths up the road. Vettel is 6 tenths behind us. And we are pulling away from the Red Bull car as we enter the sector that the Force India is not the best at, as it was 4 tenths slower in qualifying. But we gain the time in the first and last sector, and we take a very clean entry and a very good exit, better than the first lap was, as we're coming down the back straight once again, as we're coming, and we're still purple, going into the last sector. We go wide into that corner, lose the back end yet again, gives Vettel the opportunity. He's going round the inside, he backs off as we're coming onto the back straight again, excuse me there, and we're coming onto the main straight. Deploy rich fuel to get away from Vettel, as he will be in the slipstream. Luckily, DRS is not active until the next lap. And do I decide to lower it down? We do lower it down to standard. Brake at the 150 metre board, braking into the hairpin section again. And it's another, or maybe not, we had a bit of oversteer there coming out of the final corner. And we're coming into the final corner. Can we get this corner right this time? We kind of do. We take a bit of the cone, but it's better than it was on the first lap. As we start lap number 3. It's not fastest lap as we get a 40.422. Grosjean's a second ahead of us. Vettel gained a 10th of us in that last sector. As we go, and Grosjean decides to slow down. We take both him and Raikkonen up into 8th position now. 2 places in one corner. The AI aren't that great into turn 1, as you will notice in the later on in the race, that I take a couple of positions at that one corner as the AI go very slow through that bit. And there we lose half a second on our previous best first sector time, but luckily we are into 8th place and 7 tenths behind Jenson Button as we're coming up towards the fast left-hander, the sector that I do not like on this track and hard to get right. But we're coming into the double left-hander once again. As we can see the marker on the screen, Raikkonen is behind us ever so slightly. I think he's about half a second behind. No, he's 2 tenths behind. We now go on to lap number 6. Nothing really happened. It stays as it is as we go wide into that corner. And the Force India mechanics are out in the pit lane as I'll be coming in this lap. So we've got to hold off Raikkonen here and Grosjean and Vettel. Coming into this section now, we're a tenth off the best time we've set. As you can see, we've got a 39.6 off camera. As we lose the back end slightly, that's not great. And it gives Raikkonen the chance to catch up. As it's this is really good now. As we're coming down the main straight, we can see Vettel now. He's deploying his DRS as well. As both of them will, he gets past Raikkonen up into 9th place. But look at the Red Bull, he's catching us up as we're in standard, I think. Breaking into the hairpin section now, as we will be pitting this lap. Hoping that we get a bad exit out of that hairpin there. So as we're about to head into the pits now, we can see there's a whole flurry of cars coming into the pit lane as we've got to take this very carefully, as you saw in 2007 with Lewis Hamilton beaching it at the gravel. And we come into the pits, we put the engine into lean as we always do when we enter the pit lane to save a bit of fuel. And we can see a whole flurry of teams coming out of the pits as we're going to put the prime tyre on the silver tyre onto the pit lane. And to be fair, this pit stop was a very good one, but we got held up there by, I believe it was Michael Schumacher, who sadly missed out on the chance to get a position as we're coming out of the pits. We've got Perez behind us, and Petrov decides to slow down for some reason, but it's the AI. But as we're going to stay behind Schumacher, and we're going to have a great battle here with Schumacher now to the end of the race. So we're coming on to lap 7 now. We're still behind as teams will be pitting now. Those guys who are on the option tyres who are still out are going to come in as well. So we're going to get a good exit out of this corner. We're going to come down the main straight. You will see us jump a whole lot of positions now as we go from 12th to 9th place there. 8th place, I mean. So we're going to go around the outside of Schumacher. No, we're going to stay behind. We're going to take the inside line into this corner. We get him there, guys. But we take a bit of curve and get a warning there for a corner cut. And we're going to take the inside. We have Jenson Button up the road in 6th place. I think we won't take the win here, as we're a bit far behind from Fernando Alonso, who is still leading the race. And we're going to take the hairpin nice and easy now. We'll go a bit wide here as Schumacher's right on the back now, as we've got 2 world champions, one in front and one behind. As we're going to continue this battle all the way to the end now for 6 laps, as we hope to get at least some points on the board and stay in touching distance of the current championship leader, which I do believe it was Kimi Raikkonen going into this race. So we don't know who's going to be leading in this one at the end of the race. With Raikkonen in 9th and me in 7th, with us being in the top 2 in the championship. It's going to be very interesting looking at the standings of the race. So we're coming onto the back straight now. We go really wide into that corner. I don't know what was going on there. It might be a bit of understeer. As you can see, Schumacher will have DRS on us now. He will take us, I believe. Yeah, he does. He takes the inside line. As we're coming up towards the hairpin, I break it a bit later than him. As we go round the outside, I take him into 8th position. We go wide here. Schumacher's side by side with us now. As we're coming towards the final corner, are we going to make it into this corner? As Alonso sets the fastest lap of the race, and we do, guys. We keep 7th behind us. As Alonso was a 38.2, and we set a 40.7 as our out lap, I think, or as our second lap. So we're going into the snail section once again to start lap number 9. We are still in 7th. I don't think we catch up to Jenson as he's pulling away from us ever so slightly, as the car is not a very good race pace car, but it is really good in the qualifying stages. So we're going to go to lap number 12 now, as Schumacher is only 0.6 behind. As you can see, Jenson Button's 10 seconds up the road and is already battling with 2 cars in front of him for 4th position in the race. So we're coming onto the back straight now, using all our curves now. As you can see, we have to be fuel saving now. As here comes Schumacher now, going to apply the DRS once again. As he's going to overtake us again. There he goes past us. As you can see here, we've got Grosjean and Raikkonen, the two Lotuses behind us. As Alonso sets the fastest lap of the race, as we go on the outside of Schumacher yet again. He goes wide. We lose position to Grosjean now. As we come towards the final corner again. This is where our most overtakes have been taken. We back off to let Grosjean through. As you can see, we're still on the back of Grosjean. We're going side by side with him now. Coming down as we start the penultimate lap of the race now. Raikkonen 4 tenths behind. Grosjean 0.064 seconds. We get past him, using half of our curves as we take this snail section once again. And we only lost 1 position out of that as we start the penultimate. As I've already said, it's the penultimate lap of the race there. So we're going to keep with Schumacher now. Hopefully we can still keep in with him in touching distance as we will be going on to the DRS zone for the penultimate time. As we are up on the fastest lap of Alonso's by a second. As we go past Schumacher now, we make contact. We have to lift off to give the position back. As we're coming toward the fast left-hander, we put into lean to save some fuel. As we're coming into this long left fast flowing section, obviously the Mercedes has better handling than the Force India. Take a bit of curb there, that's not what to do. As we come into the double left-hand section once again, as we're going to try and keep under a second difference. As I will have to take the gamble and put it up to fast to stay in touching distance, as we're still 1 second up on our best time as we enter the second snail section. I do believe we have the DRS for this bit, but as you can see we have no curves, so it's basically going to be a catching game. The catch up to Michael Schumacher for the last lap of the race, as we will increment the DRS now. And I think Grosjean has DRS, and so does Raikkonen, and so does Vettel as well. As Alonso sets the fastest lap again, as he starts the final lap of the race. And we can see we get closer to Schumacher, but we did cut the hairpin there. So do not do that, guys, in an online race there. I recommend it. As we come out of the final corner, we start the final lap. Can we get past Schumacher for 7th place and get that position back? As we set the fastest lap, our fastest lap of a 38.9. As we come to the snail section for the final time. And you can see we are gaining on Schumacher because we are very better. As he goes outside, we take the inside line, take 7th position back. As we start coming out of the snail section, we have got 7th position back as we come towards starting the sector 2. And I do believe this is going to be an exciting finish. As we know, this section here is Mercedes territory. As we go wide and get a bit of marble on the tyres, we're going to have less grip as we go into this very bad section for me. As only Schumacher's half a second behind, we have to brake a bit as we go into this section. You can see the markers come up straight away as Schumacher is right on the back of us there as we're coming into the double left-hander for the final time. Schumacher is only as we take a very good exit out of that double left-hander as we're going to start the final sector of the race. As you can see, our fuel is optimal as well, but oh well, we take the gamble here. If the fuel runs out, the fuel runs out, but we have a fast German behind us in a fast car of the Mercedes. The 2 fastest cars in F1 in a straight line as Fernando Alonso takes the win. As we use the rest of the curves, it's all down now to praying that the Force India has a very good top speed and can last the Mercedes, as the Mercedes is coming ever so closer now. And Alonso again, 3 laps in a row, fastest lap of the race. As you can see, we're coming into the hairpin. Oh, there's 2 cars there. There's going to be action here. As you can see, there's 4 cars behind us of Schumacher, Grosjean, Raikkonen and Vettel. As we're coming into the final corner, can we keep it in there? It's a good exit, and we get away from the 4-car train as we take 7th position. A disappointing thing, if I'm honest, if we took pole, but as we can see here, Paul the rest of finish in 12th place. But still, points on the board is all that matters for this career mode series. So here are the results. Alonso takes the win ahead of Webber and Massa as they take the top 3. Maldonado and Kobayashi have a good race. We finish in 7th, and Hamilton the only retirement. So we look at the championship, Alonso leads the way, and then the battle for second is just separated with 5 drivers only by 11 points, with Massa leading the way with Button, myself, Raikkonen and Grosjean. And the constructors, Ferrari lead the way with Lotus and Mercedes and McLaren taking the top 4 positions, with us in 5th position ahead of Red Bull, which is very surprising. But anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, like and favourite the video, and also subscribe to the channel if you just popped over to see the video. But as always guys, I hope you have a good day wherever you are in the world, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and I'll see you later.